Hello, everybody. Rob Cootie here of the MLM Solution. Today is Thursday, April 6th, 10:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we're here to do our show for you, to bring you information that you'll get no place else. We take a deep dive into many subjects that you need to know about so that you can be empowered to take this great business model and do amazing things with. That being said, join us today as we cover an important subject. And it's something that we can all relate to because we have it as a part of our daily lives. Podcast number 161 is talking about resist making excuses. Guys, we all have excuses at the tip of our tongue each and every day to justify why we don't want to do something or to not get something done. We've all been there. We've all used them. And there's some classics in network marketing as well. We're going to address that and how to overcome some of those excuses or to avoid them altogether because they can be business killing excuses. They have a tremendous negative impact on your success. So join us today at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as we tackle this important subject matter. And if you will, share our podcast and our social media platforms with our fellow network marketers across the globe. You can do that by utilizing hashtag TheMLMSolution, hashtag TheMLMSolution. And also, finally, please visit our new and improved website. A lot of great information there, a lot of great deals. Go there, TheMLMSolution.net. Once you go there, please share our website with our fellow network marketers as well. With that being said, I'm going to hop off of here and we'll see you in a moment.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie. Happy Thursday. How are you today?
Good morning, Rob. I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's hard to believe it's Thursday already, but I'm doing great. And still doing our house hunting. I told you the other day how we refused to get in a bidding war. So we're, but you know what? That opened up our eyes on some other things we need to do. So we're making some adjustments because, Miss Marie, it's a hot market here. I don't know what it is there. If you're going to get the house that you want, Miss Marie, on the existing market, I mean, you got to be like that. I mean, you got to be Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, things are going fast and well over asking price. It's not unusual.
Yes. So we had to make some adjustments and not excuses. We could just say, I'll piss on it. We'll wait till later. But we're not going to. We're going to play the game and we're going to get better at it. And we're going to make some adjustments. You know, you can make an offer, Miss Marie, and somebody will come in a half hour later and put 20,000 more. And you're going to either have to step up or walk away. And thank God we're the type of people that will walk away. There's no house that's so important to us. You know, if it ends up being, we'll end up building. We really, as you know, we met with a number of builders, and right now that's not something that I'm willing to do, mainly because the property within what we call the Gene Snyder, to get property in this area is over $1 million.
Oof. Just
for the property, for 1 acre, not even an acre. No, maybe it was an acre. I think it was more. It was an acre. I'm not willing to pay that, as you can imagine.
I don't blame you.
No. And but if you go outside of the Gene Snyder, it drops dramatically. Now you can find foreclosed properties, believe it or not, or tax properties within the Gene Snyder, and I certainly am focusing in on that. But the bottom line is, Miss Marie, if we go outside the Gene Snyder, that's a long ride for us right now, because, you know, we watch the grandkids every day. So we're trying to eliminate that long ride because, as we have said to you before, Kentuckians don't drive very well in bad weather, whether it's rain or snow. And you put yourself in harm's way when you get on the roads during that time frame. I wish you could see it. I don't know if it's like that in Utah, but it's bad here.
Yeah, I think everybody has a challenge driving in bad weather because they still want to go just as fast as they normally do. And you gotta slow it down a little bit.
Yes, be cautious,
Yeah.
So anyway, there we are. That's our home. And I know that you have expressed that you guys are looking to move too.
Thinking about it, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's an exciting time, but also aggravating. How do you feel about it? Okay, yeah. There we go. There's the answer.
I don't like moving. Moving's a pain.
It is. But let me ask you this. Is this going to be your final move, do you think?
No.
Really?
No.
What's going to be your final move? You don't have to tell us when. Oh, you just know you're going to move.
I have no idea, but no, I can't imagine this will be our final move.
Really?
Really.
Are you guys kind of nomadic? Are you going to move till your last day?
No, but at the same time, to say you're going to settle somewhere for forever is a little bit unrealistic. I think we have our eye on Texas long term. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time you ever said that. What part of Texas, real quick?
The part that's going to secede.
There you go. I like that woman. Yep, there you go. I told the wife, I said, you better be ready. And she goes, but what if we build her a new house? I don't give a shit. You better be ready. That's all I got to say. But without getting political, because we don't want to get off topic, I am proud of the state of Kentucky. It has taken some moves that, of course, we have a Democratic governor, and he's actually, as I told you before, you got to give credit where credit's due, right? Regardless of what side of the aisle they're on. And he's actually been pretty decent. But I don't know if it's him or an attorney general, but they are doing more red state stuff than they are blue state. And I actually heard that they are looking as being part of the states that will succeed from the United States if things don't get better. I was like, yes, all right, I can do that, because I really don't want to move if I don't have to out of the state. I have family here that I want to be around. But if it comes down to it, Miss Marie, I'm like you. I'll head my ass to Florida or Texas, one of the two. I like them both. So, nothing wrong there, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not as big of a fan of Florida. I am, politically, I think the governor there has really got it going on and has the state in a really good position. But just from a environment that I want to live in standpoint,
I agree.
Florida and California have always been no-goes for me.
Right. I'm totally on board with you with Texas. I totally get that. I personally will not rule out Florida. I hate the sand. I love the beach, which is so weird. You put me on a beach and I'm a happy camper for the rest of my life. But that sand, oh, Miss Marie, you track it in the house no matter how hard you try. I'm constantly sweeping and vacuuming. It's nonstop. And I hate it between my toes. So as you can tell, I'm not a fan. And I don't like it in other places either, if you get my drift. So, yeah. All right. So with that being said, today's episode's a good one. Making excuses. Guys, this can have a powerful negative impact on your business. And we're going to be talking about some excuses I'm sure some of you are going to be familiar with, maybe used yourself. But, we don't want you to just mask over today's episode subject because, guys, excuses are part of life. We will make excuses to get out of anything that we don't want to do or that we feel is possibly going to put us in a compromising position, if we're just too lazy, whatever the case may be, and we'll justify it, Miss Marie. I can remember many people using the craziest excuses to justify inactivity, and there was really no excuse. For the most part, there are some, well, Rob, I'm missing a leg. Okay, well, yeah, you can't run that marathon. You're missing a leg. I'm using it as an example. It's a little bit extreme, but you get my point. That's a legitimate excuse. But for somebody to say, well, my big toe hurts because I cut the nail a little bit too short. I'm not going to run today. I don't think that's going to work. If you're in the military, your drill sergeant's going to say, I don't care if you lost your whole freaking toenail. You're going to run today. The point is that they take away the excuses that we ourselves try to use to get out of something we don't want to do. And the business building activity, Miss Marie, it's not fun for everybody. It can be a challenge. Many excuses at that moment.
Well, exactly. And I think a lot of people tend to want to wait for the perfect time to start their business or to start working their business. And there really is no such thing, right? Because for all circumstances to fall into place and be absolutely perfect, the odds of it happening are so slim. So if that's the case, you might as well just say you're not interested in starting a business. You're not interested in having your own business. You want to be an employee and work for someone else.
Right. There you go.
Because that's fundamentally what it is.
That's right. And, guys, everybody has a jar of excuses. You can open that jar up and pull out just about any excuse you want. And you can justify that excuse for whatever reason you want. When I first met the wife, she was the excuse queen. If you need an excuse, you call her. She's got one for you. And boy, I used to give her a hard time over that. And I told her, I said, you need to open up a business. She was like, for what? And I told her, and she's like, but she got it. Now she doesn't make excuses. She just gets up and does it, because she got it. And what she did is she made excuses for other people, Miss Marie. She gave them a reason without them ever opening their mouth. She gave them a reason not to do something. And that's horrible. And so you guys, making excuses is not just you opening your mouth. Miss Marie could give me 1,000. Well, Rob, you don't want to do that. And here's why. Rob, I did that. And here's what happened. And she gets spin it in a negative way instead of saying, Rob, I did that. And I had great results. Rob, don't listen to them. This is the way you do it. You'll get great results. Okay. That is not an excuse. That is a positive impact. That is a positive statement of support, guidance, and motivation. The other one is, Rob, don't do that. People will talk about you. Rob, don't do that. The boss will find out. There's all kinds of negative excuses that are just at the tip of our tongue. And Miss Marie, it seems like there's more negative excuses knocking at our door of our brain each and every day and at the tip of our tongue, just waiting to be used than there are reasons to succeed, which is amazing.
It is, and it's unfortunate because I think the fundamental question to ask here is why do we have a tendency to make excuses? And it's usually because we're afraid to do the thing we're making an excuse about.
That's right.
Right? I don't know if it, in your network marketing business, does that amount to a fear of failure? Is it because friends and family members have a negative view of the industry for whatever reason? Is there just that self-doubt or questioning, can I really do this? So you make excuses to not even bother trying, which is a shame because it's not rocket science, as we talk about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the most successful people in network marketing are just average, everyday people that,
absolutely.
They're not Ivy League educated, successful people. They're just people that were able to be coachable, to follow a simple plan. And the most important factor is took action.
Yep.
They didn't make the excuses. They just took the action. It's like, okay, this is what they said I should do. So this is what I'm going to do. And they just follow through on it, right?
Yeah. And you know what, Miss Marie, there's only one way to overcome excuses, and that's action. And people that take action, Miss Marie, almost without thinking, they just say, you give them a task and they say, okay, and they just go out and do it. They don't even think about it. Sometimes they don't even know how they're going to do it. They just get out there and start, working towards whatever it is you gave them to do. And here's the thing, guys, they bust through walls. They find ways around, under, through it, whatever. I've worked with people like that. I was a great admirer of those because they didn't even give second thought. They just said, okay, this is what I need to do. Yep. Okay. And I need it done by so-and-so time. Bam, off they went, and, as they went away, you thought to yourself, did they really realize what they got themselves into? And then they get it done and you go, oh my gosh, how in the hell did you do that? So it's activity, guys, that overcome all the excuses, all of them. Okay. Miss Maria, I remember many times, I remember, do you remember the story? I think, well, there was Ripley's Believe It or Not, and then there was a couple of others. And it was about people accomplishing amazing things, the amazing things in life. And there was a gentleman, and this is part of what we're talking about. Him and his girl got married, and they got married in hospital beds. And they both were young, and they were stricken with really terrible diseases. Well, he was an author, and he had medical issues his whole life. He did not have a normal life, and he really couldn't use his hands all that well. And this was back in typewriter days. So it's an old story. But Miss Marie, he became a very successful author, wrote 3 or 4 books, and had an incredible life. And him and the girl shares a similar fate as him, and they both died early in their lives. But he had every excuse in the world to not write those books, to not get married, to not be happy. And he busted through every one of them, each and every day. I can imagine being in a hospital bed every day. The bed sores alone, the mental anguish alone, the loneliness. You can imagine. And yet he was smiling and happy all the time. And it was just amazing. So there's an example of having excuses. Another quick example, a young man riding a motorcycle back in the 60s. Something happened, had an accident, Miss Marie. The gas tank ruptured, the gasoline poured out, the hot engine caught it on fire and burned him. 2nd to 3rd degree, over 70% of his body. He was not a pretty sight. I read the book. And of course it had pictures. Then he overcame that, became a active part of life again, and actually got married in that condition with 2 or 3 kids, was married for 10 years, ended up getting a divorce, started drinking, had another motorcycle accident, and paralyzed himself. I know. And it was wheelchair bound, did not give up, ended up dating a model in a wheelchair, burned 70% of his body, ended up dating a model, married her, and was with her for 10 or 11 years. They got a divorce, and then he went into politics and became a senator. Now, that guy had excuses after excuses after excuses. Now, guys, I give you those real life examples. Those are extreme, but guys, they had every reason to stop at every episode of the life events. And I only share those with you because I want you to see how the human spirit can just bust right through those excuses. And we're just talking about the piddly ass model of network marketing and the fact that you might be afraid somebody's going to say something nasty about you in network marketing. The thing that you're robbing yourself of, this thing can deliver a wonderful lifestyle. Everybody has a different definition of what that lifestyle is. Only you can determine what is the right one for you, right? But the bottom line is, guys, you'll have every excuse at the tip of your tongue, and they will have a negative, major negative. Because here's what happened, Miss Marie. We talk about good and bad duplication, do we not?
Yeah. Well, and that's a big part of it, right? Because we talk about the fact that, your team will duplicate about half of the good things that you do.
That's right.
But somehow the bad things, those will take off exponentially.
That's right. And magnify. And guys, let me show you. Here's the thing. This is good duplication. The thread is so thin. And I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. Here's your good duplication. We have a checklist that will get you off on the right stead. It's such a small margin of error that you have when you're creating good duplication in this business model, because what she just said, here's the excuses that are at the tip of people's tongues to overcome that good duplication. And these excuses will create what? Bad duplication. Okay. So the thing is, you got to realize that if you're going to be part of the 1 of the 3%ers and not the 97%, and you want this incredible lifestyle, which only this business model can provide, guys, you got to realize the thread of success is that small, because there's so many reasons not to do this business right there at your fingertips. You can just reach into that jar and pull one of them out and then justify them. Okay. And there's so many success stories, as Miss Marie said, single parents working 2 jobs, still building an incredible lifestyle. A woman in her basement who ended up getting a divorce, living in the basement of a neighbor, had 2 or 3 kids, I can't remember. And in the basement, she built a business. In her first year, that created $35,000 a month at the end of that first year. Okay. Those are people that did not make excuses. They got out there and they made it happen. Used almost her last pennies. Instead of feeding her kids, joined the network marketing business, but she got her butt in gear. She made no excuses. Okay. She created that good duplication where that thread is that small. Okay. Because as Miss Marie said, there's so many, there's a plethora of bad examples out there that we could give you about people that got off on the wrong step and never corrected it and ended up sinking instead of swimming. Right, Miss Marie?
Yeah, that is very true. And I think one of the things that a lot of people, the situation they find themselves in where they're making excuses is they're looking at too large of a picture. They're trying to figure out, their ultimate goal is, say, $25,000 a month, and they're just starting out. And that seems like such a huge gap to get to. It becomes overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
So I think that kind of creates the environment for, making excuses to begin with.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do, as Rob said earlier, is, the antidote to making excuses is to take action. And the taking action is, what can I do next? What can I do right now to move me towards that ultimate goal? And that may be as simple as picking up the phone and making one phone call.
That's right. That's right. And Miss Marie, maybe we ought to do an episode of that, one bite at a time, because you're absolutely right. That is, when you said that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. You're right. You and I are talking about different income levels, and even Miss Marie, I'm sure that when people come into this business model, the thought of them making $100 is probably almost overwhelming because they don't understand the business model. And you nailed it. Guys, she's right. When you get up today, okay, today's Thursday, okay, April 8th. If you got up today and said, okay, what is on my agenda for my network marketing business? I need to make 5 contacts. Guys, just work to make those 5 contacts and make them legitimate. Don't water it down. Don't cheat yourself. Make 5 legitimate contacts, okay? Whether that's delivering the music to the ears message or getting new business cards, whatever the process is, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about what you did yesterday, right, Miss Marie? Just do what you can do today. Make the best effort you can. As we say all the time, make that hour. If you're giving your business an hour, make it the best hour you ever gave it. And then tomorrow, give it the next best hour you ever gave it. And don't compare the two. Okay, just look at the only time you want to compare, or I won't say compare, you want to look at the results because you might have to make adjustments along the way. But that's the power of being a member of our site, is that you're going to have at your disposal training tools where you can evaluate yourself. Okay, and as we said before, Miss Marie and I can evaluate businesses as well. But the thing is you have to make sure that you're doing the best you can do each and every day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Okay. And if you run up where you have a situation where your child has a soccer game that's eaten into your hour, instead of you having 4, you now only have 3, don't beat yourself up and say, well, I got to find that extra hour before I go to bed at night. Make the next 3 hours that you have left the best 3 hours that you have, right, Miss Marie? Mm-hmm. Don't try. If you need your sleep, don't try to find that extra hour that night. If you want to add that extra hour onto your next day, instead of doing 4, you do 5, that's up to you. Okay. But if you say, no, I can't, I can only do 4, then make that the next day the best 4 hours you could ever do. Guys, don't carry that burden with you. Don't carry that guilt that will start building up excuses. Because why, Miss Marie? It'll emotionally and physically wear you out, won't it?
Yeah.
And your defenses will wear down. You'll find yourself making excuses. Just do the best 3 hours you can do today. Then tomorrow, do the best 4 hours you can do. Okay. If something comes up and you can't do 4 hours that day because your spouse has to be taken to the emergency room, forget about today. You know what? Tomorrow, make it the best 4 hours you have. Right, Miss Marie? That's the key.
That is the key. And again, it's one step at a time, and it builds over time. And you just never know when you're, picking up that phone, that next person you talk to may be the one that really skyrockets your business.
That's right.
Because they're just going to be the ones that are going to take the bull by the horns and run with it and create an organization that's just unbelievable. You just never know. It's a little bit like playing the lottery, right? You just don't know which phone call is going to be the one that really,
that's
makes your business go.
That's right. Absolutely. And guys, here's the thing. You can't let the fact that your child had a soccer game today that ate up an hour of your 4-hour commitment to building your business. You can't let that, as Miss Marie just said, deter you from finding that person that can turn it around. Okay. You got to know in your heart that that's what you're looking for. As Richard Call said, I would go a year looking for one Jerry Campese. That tells you the power of what she just said. Okay. Richard Call, one of the greatest business builders of all time, if not the greatest, made that comment. That's the value of finding that one person. So you got to do the best you can do. Go to the soccer game, enjoy the soccer game. Don't sit there like a sourpuss and make your child pay the emotional price. Go there, participate, laugh, buy them a Coke, hug them, love on them, cheer them on, do all the stuff a parent's supposed to do. And then when you get home, you know what? When they get to bed and you feed them, guess what? Do the best 3 hours, the best 2 hours, whatever you got left at night that you can do, working towards finding that person that Miss Marie just talked about. And when you do, you'll forget about the 2 hours that you didn't have that one particular day, or that 1 hour you didn't have, or maybe you didn't do a very good music to the ears message that day. Guys, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of doing exactly what she said, taking action and being consistent. Miss Marie, if you use our mantra, CCBBA, what is it talking about? Consistent, correct business building activity. What's the key word there in this episode? Activity. No excuses, activity. Okay. And like she said, you're going to have some days you're not going to be able to do any activity. That's okay. That's okay. It happens. You don't beat yourself up. Because as I said, Miss Marie, what happens is you start carrying around this guilt. You start not eating right. You start not sleeping right. You're worried about what you're going to do, how you're going to make up that lost time, how you're going to do this better, how you're going to do that better. And you know what, Miss Marie? You'll end up wearing yourself down where all of a sudden you say, I'm really tired. And you don't even realize it's an excuse. I'm really emotionally tired. I need a break. And the next thing you know, Miss Marie, you're taking 2 to 3 days off, which you need to sleep, to emotionally recharge yourself. Okay. And that'll have a bigger negative impact than just missing an hour here and there, or maybe one day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they'll give you excuses, won't they? When you're tired.
Well, just like some other things in the business, if you start using excuses and making excuses, that's going to snowball. It's going to become larger and larger. And eventually you're going to make an excuse for not doing the business at all. And you're going to step away. That's
right. This is a long game, guys. It's not a short game. It's a long game. Okay. And the moment you catch yourself making an excuse, you got to, what's the answer? Activity. You got to immediately take action. Okay. So, and it doesn't mean while you're driving, pick up the phone and make a prospecting call. No, you want to be in a controlled environment, not with the kids screaming in the background in the vehicle. Okay. That's not what we're saying. Don't emotionally beat yourself up over that. Wait till you get in a controlled environment. Look, use some common sense. Okay. And make this business building process as simple and easy and stress-free as possible. It's stressful enough as it is. Don't add to it by trying to do things that are really uncharacteristic of yourself or really unnatural in the prospecting process. Ms. Marie, I think you and I know I've been guilty of some of these things. It's the reason why I can talk about them is because, you find out that, that wasn't the smartest thing to do. And I've made more mistakes than I have correct. That's the reason why I come across as an expert, because my gosh, I've made so many mistakes. I can't speak for you, but I look back and say, how in the hell was I even successful? And for a long time, I wasn't, but you're right. You sponsored that one person. Mine was an Asian gentleman. Well, I mean, I had more than one, but he was the turning point. You know what I'm saying? He led to other people. And then it just snowballed, like you said, right?
Yeah, it does. And no doubt we all make excuses at some point. We're all guilty of it. I mean, obviously we have, the number of years we've been in the business, I think we've made about all the mistakes and excuses you possibly can, right?
Book of Mistakes.
Exactly.
by Marie Ken and Rob Goody.
What's our product we've had a special on recently? What not to do in network marketing? Well, guess where that came from?
That's right. Exactly. Yes.
We learned that all the hard way, right?
I did. And you know what's funny? Once I realized that I was making these mistakes, Miss Marie, the idea of that book came across, and I'd started listening to people because I realized, maybe this is not so smart. Maybe I need to listen to what they're telling me. And so a lot of that was at the feet of the masters, if you will. A good portion was me making mistakes, but the other part was, okay, I need to listen, put this down on paper, because I need to know these things. This is important. But, Miss Marie, it's, guys, when your body says you're tired and you need sleep, you need to go to sleep. Okay. Even if you don't finish, I need to make that one last call. Maybe you have to make that choice. I've done that, but I also learned that when I'm not at the top of my game and I'm tired and not able to focus, I'm hurting myself. I'm not helping myself. Okay. And I will make that next call, the one I didn't make that night, as soon as possible the next day. My best times, Miss Marie, was from 9 a.m. till noon or 1. Those were my most productive. I would contact people. In the afternoon, people were in the mindset, hell, I'm ready to get out of here and go home. They weren't really in the mood to talk, or, they were scrambling to catch up on their task for the day because they hadn't gotten it done yet. So you see, the thing is, I had more open minds in the morning. People are more productive and business minded in the mornings than they are in the afternoons. And that's not saying that you shouldn't prospect people in the afternoons. But the point is, Miss Marie, I had to learn, and I had to fight through that, because you know what my excuse was? People don't want to talk business in the afternoon. I was making excuses. And so I just started picking up the phone. You and I talked about that. That phone seems like a rhino, a charging rhino. Don't touch that phone, or like it's on fire, it's glowing red heat. If you pick it up, it's going to burn you. Don't touch that phone. Making up that phone to make those calls was hard.
Yeah, it can be, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things where, if you're fortunate enough to have a sponsor who's really able to provide some mentorship, they can help call you out on the excuses that you're making, help hold you accountable to the goals you're setting for your business, and help you achieve those. If you don't have that available in your upline, find a mentor.
That's right.
Find someone who will hold you accountable, not, it's okay, don't worry about it. Nope, they're going to call you on the BS when they see it, and encourage you to take appropriate action to move your business forward.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. And so to summarize, Miss Marie, what do you do? I mean, gosh, you and I could talk for hours on the various excuses, and there's no sense in it. We can put them all in one bucket, because an excuse is an excuse is an excuse, right? Now, guys, real life events like you're in the hospital, that is not an excuse. That's real life. So let's make sure we're clear on that as we close, right, Miss Marie? That's not what we're talking about. If a real life event comes in and keeps you from making the calls, keeps you from following up with a prospect, guys, that's life. And you got to deal with real life issues. Do not ignore your family. If it's your child or your spouse that ends up going to the emergency room, you need to be there with them. You need to be supportive. You don't need to talk about the business. You don't need to make a follow-up call there in the emergency room. Don't do that stuff, okay? You're going to cause issues between you and your family if you do. You don't want this business to be all-encompassing, all-consuming, right, Miss Marie? There's a balance to have. And the reason we bring this up is because we want you to have that balance. Look, the numbers will work for you even though you have life events happen. You may have to go to 92 days instead of 90. You may have to go to 95 days instead of 90. But Miss Marie, if you're consistent and keep working at it, guess what? It'll work, right? Mm-hmm. So don't lose your job. Don't lose your family. Don't lose your home. Don't lose your cars over it, right, Miss Marie?
Well, exactly. And a lot of people, they're motivated to get into the business to provide a better life, better lifestyle for their family. So you don't want to neglect your family in the process of providing for your family, right?
But I'm doing it for you. Don't leave me. I'm doing it for you. You haven't been around. Right, Ms. Marie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So guys, don't do that. Anyway, the point is, guys, as we summarize, there's only one thing that's going to help you overcome or avoid the excuses. That's activity, consistent, correct business building activity. That's the bottom line. You just got to take one step in front of the other. You got to do it one day at a time. Forget about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Just do the best you can do today. Okay. And if life gets in the way, accept it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't lose sleep over it. Don't get stressed out over it. I know it's easier for me to say it than it is for some of you to overcome it, because extreme type A people have a problem with stuff like that. But hopefully you'll learn it, because what we're telling you is the truth. Guys, don't beat yourself up over this stuff. You'll wear yourself down. You'll end up hurting yourself versus helping yourself. We're teaching you balance here. So the only thing that you can overcome excuses with is with activity, but there's going to be days where that activity is not going to work out the way you want it to. Don't worry about it. Move on. That's it in summary, right? Miss Marie, you have anything to add?
I don't have anything to add. I think that summarizes it very well.
Yes. And I think we've talked about it enough. All right. Tomorrow's subject, guys, Freelance Friday. Our most popular shows, believe it or not. For whatever reason, people get a big kick out of that, but we're glad to do it. So we enjoy it. It gives us a break ourselves. And we like having fun on Freelance Fridays. So join us tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. You can find us on our social media platforms by utilizing hashtag TheMLMSolution. And don't forget to go to our website, TheMLMSolution.net. With that, don't forget about what Ms. Marie was talking about as we close. The what not to do, there it is. It's on sale for the next 24 hours, only $47, guys. 146 pages, and it includes 146 paragraphs. No, I did not plan it that way. It just worked out. How weird is that? And yes, I did create 146 audio files. Each one of those audio files are real-life examples of the paragraphs that are in the book. And those audio files, those real-life examples, not only clarify the points those paragraphs are making, but expand your knowledge on those points by bringing real-life events to those paragraphs. All right. And there's many trading videos that also further your knowledge into these all-important subjects. And we have sold this at $197. And now, because we want you to experience our products, experience our knowledge, experience how this stuff can have a positive impact on you and your business, we are providing it for $47. That's an instant $150 savings right away. Who doesn't love saving money, especially $150 on something? It's a lifetime membership, meaning it's at your fingertips 24/7. Okay, it's a membership that will never go away, and it makes it reference material for you. So this information makes you a focused business building machine capable of taking this wonderful business model and doing amazing things with it. Helps you avoid, hopefully, critical mistakes that can hurt your business and success. All right, Miss Marie, with that being said, one last thing. You want to listen to this podcast or any podcast of the past, go to our, guess what, podcast replay page. You get a free gift there too. You fill out the form, you'll get the free gift. There are no shenanigans in our email system. In other words, you will not be prospected to buy something. You may get an email that will contain other free gifts, but that'll be it. All right, Miss Marie, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always, we're going to be talking about all kinds of crazy stuff, which is great. All right, Miss Marie, you have anything to add as we go?
I do not. Looking forward to Freelance Friday tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. God bless. Take care. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. right here on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, TheMLMSolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.